Hi Rahul. Rahul has joined. So I think many students have joined.
Right.
ना तो Praveen, let's start.
Yes, sir. Sure. So, good evening, everyone. मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर साहब से? Or is it
हाँ
echoing?
हाँ।
बहुत शानदार सर।
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Praveen Tripathi, and on the screen you can see all the legendary faculty. We have Goga sir. Goga sir, good evening.
Evening भाई.
Vivek sir, good evening.
Hello, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Dr. Apur sir, good evening, sir.
नमस्कार।
Spur sir, good evening, and
हाय सर, गुड
good
इवनिंग।
evening.
Good evening,
So,
sir. Good evening,
so,
all.
so, students, the aim of this session is slightly different. This session is primarily for those students who could not pass the exam this time. And some of you have also sent us messages. So we want to address all those issues and come up with practical solutions so that in the upcoming examination, not only you pass the exam, but you pass it with flying colors. As we say that in FMG, our mission is to get you a score of more. And in the last exam, a large number of students got a score of more than 200 plus. So we want that all our students achieve that. And we want to understand your problems and come up with practical solution. So we welcome you all. And we do have a list of questions. We will take questions from that list also. At the same time, those of you who are live here can send your questions in the chat box and we will try to take up as many questions as possible.
So I think I will like to add the just concluded result. So we have talked to a lot of students who have passed the exam. तो जो common था सब में, the common thing among all of them were they were attending the mission classes regularly. बिल्कुल religiously they believed, they did not attend anything else. मिशन क्लासेस की लाइव क्लासेस रेगुलरली अटेंड की. उसके बाद दे हैव आल्सो सॉल्व द रिवाइज दैट आफ्टर द क्लास एंड देन सॉल्व द एमसीक्यूज एंड नन ऑफ देम मिस्ड एनी ऑफ द ईएनडीज एंड आल्सो द लेट नाइट पीवाईक्यूज. तो ये सारा कुछ किया एंड दिस हैज yielded द रिजल्ट्स फॉर देम एंड वी फील देर इज नो रीजन कि इससे आपका रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा. So one common thing is if you have any doubt के is cerebellum enough, is mission program enough, and I can clearly say मतलब कन्विक्शन के साथ कह सकता हूं कि इट इज एनफ. आपको कहीं और देखने की जरूरत नहीं.
And when Goga sir says it's enough not only to get a score of 150, it is enough to get a score of 225 plus. And the reason why we are so confident is I think mission program, mission 200 program is the program with the highest success rate. Just by looking at the number of messages we got in Telegram, we are thinking that probably more than 70% of our students passed. But this session is not to talk about what happened in the past. This session is more about how can we learn from the success of our students and guide more of our students towards the success or towards passing of this exam.
I think Dr. Apoorv should add something because he has a class and he has to leave.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. So, what Goga bhai said is absolutely true. And we also noticed that some of the students who could not clear, their majority of their score was between 140 to 150, which is a score which I don't know why, but that's the score which is there. And I've been talking in the class that many a times you end at 149. And I did get 4 messages from students that sir 149 ही आया, आप बोलते थे कि एक question है. So what I believe is that finally you must have seen, those who have attempted the paper, I'm talking to them now, that you must have seen that many a times you have read that topic but you don't get the question correct there, because the answer is very simple. You have not practiced MCQs enough. That is one thing which people make mistake on. So my point is, if you're doing a particular subject, it makes sense to do that MCQs. Fortunately, you have an option of going topic wise, custom wise, and look at the topics and do the questions. Because till the time you are not doing the MCQs, it is going to be very, very tough for you to answer there. Second point, a lot of people say that a lot of new things can come, but we cannot prepare for something which is going to be new, which is going to come. You are going to prepare from the standard things which are coming, and that is why PYTs and PYQs have a major role. People have not only crossed 200 in this exam, they have crossed 250 also. So this is something which is very, very astonishing, because even if I know 300 questions, I don't think so. Under the pressure of the exam, I can mark it. But the preparation method was very simple. We were sticking to doing MCQs. So what I believe is, if you are starting, there are a lot of students here who are just starting. As Gogavai said, listen to the mission class and utilize your mornings to revise what has been taught so that nothing piles up if you're just preparing for the exam, and try to do your questions along with it. One more thing which I want to tell you is there is a lot of procrastination that people like to mention that I feel that मेरा नहीं होगा, पहले भी नहीं आया तो इस बार ऐसा क्या हो जाएगा that I can clear. So we have examples this time that in this exam, which I will rate moderate exam, it was not an easy exam, with the standard questions coming up, people who had not cleared for many times, many years did clear. So ये examples हमेशा आपके साथ रहते हैं. So आप ऐसे इंटरव्यूज वहां देखेंगे जहां पे लोग बताएंगे कि इस बार नहीं हुआ, इस बार नहीं हुआ, इस बार नहीं हुआ, एंड देन आई क्लियर दिस टाइम. So that faith you have to keep, just mentioning कि मैं अटका हुआ हूं, आप नहीं निकलेंगे उसके साथ, and I say that each day is valuable. अगर आपको लगता है तो it might be मतलब strange for you on 27th of January that I'm talking about each day is important for the exam that's going to occur in June, July. If I say that's an understatement, actually each hour is important. If I say each hour is important and you feel that what is sir ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, each hour is important, I will say that each minute is important because आपको ये सोचना बहुत जरूरी है कि आपके प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स हर दिन में बहुत कम होते हैं. एंड यहाँ पे गेम आता है, आपको लगता है 60 सेकंड से क्या फर्क पड़ता है. अगर आपका एक क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में छूट जाएगा तो आपको पता लगेगा कितना फर्क पड़ता है, राइट. फिर कुछ लोग ये कहते हैं कि सर सेकंड्स भी, आप तो बोल दोगे सेकंड्स भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो मैं बोलता हूँ सेकंड्स डेफिनेटली इंपॉर्टेंट है. आप सीपीसीआर करके देखो सेकंड से कितना फर्क पड़ जाता है. बोलेंगे सर आप तो हमें डरा रहे हो, अभी तो हमने पढ़ाई शुरू भी नहीं करी. आप तो मिली सेकंड पे पहुंच जाओ, आप 100 मीटर की दौड़ भाग के देखो, आपको वैल्यू समझ आएगी. सो आपको इस टाइम पे सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है कि टाइम ढंग से वैल्यू करना आना चाहिए. आपको रेस्ट लेना बहुत जरूरी है. पीपल स्टार्ट कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग ऑन स्लीप. आई थिंक डॉक्टर प्रवीण विल बी अ बेटर पर्सन टू टेल यू द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ इट. बट पीपल ट्राई टू स्ट्रेस देमसेल्फ, सोते नहीं है, ढंग से खाते नहीं है, थोड़ी वॉक नहीं करते, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन दिस प्रिपरेशन. और अपने आप को टैक्स करते हैं. आपको टाइम को सोना आपका हार्म नहीं है. आधे घंटे वॉक करना इज नॉट गोइंग टू हार्म यू. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप अपना ना पॉजिटिव फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड रखें. द लास्ट थिंग विच आई वांट टू टेल यू इज, अगर आप लोग बहुत बार एग्जाम दे चुके हैं, इस बार आपको अपने आप को थोड़ा सा आइसोलेट करना है और आपको पॉजिटिव लोगों से बातें करनी है. आपको सबको मंडे मोटिवेशन 4-5 बार सुनना है. आई विल मेक श्योर दैट आपको पूरे 6 महीने मंडे मोटिवेशन मिले, राइट. और आप देखिए रूटीनली देयर आर सेशंस दैट डॉक्टर प्रवीण इज पुटिंग अप, एंड almost daily you will find an article that he writes which is there at different platforms. That saves your time. You can just read it in 30 seconds, 1 minute, and that tells you that preparation has to be taken till the end. Majority of you will be never confident during preparation. प्रिपरेशन के टाइम पे बेटा कोई कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं होता. इवन जिसके 250 आए हैं, 247 आए, वो भी कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं था. कॉन्फिडेंस आपका रिजल्ट से आएगा. और वो कैसे आएगा? ग्रैंड टेस्ट देते रहो. So this is what I wanted to speak. I have summarized everything in one go because I have my mission class. And thank you very much, everybody, all my seniors, for having me here. In spite of me being the junior, they gave me the chance to speak here. And best wishes to all of you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for that insightful discussion, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, Vivek sir and Govind sir, if you allow, we can take one question at a time and answer it in a span of like 3-4 minutes.
Before starting the questions, I think I will like to tell about the basic things about preparation, and then we can take the individual questions. Yeah? So, in very brief, so basically for passing any entrance exam, maybe FMG or maybe even NEET PG or INICT, there are three pillars. Three pillars on which any entrance exam is based. Number one is the theory or the facts, factual information, the concepts, everything. So basically, the information which they will be asking in the exam. So you should be thorough about the concepts and the factual information. So that will come from the mission classes, obviously. Second pillar, very important pillar, is the MCQs, because final exam is MCQ. So you need to have plenty of MCQ practice. So you have to solve MCQs on a daily basis. 50 to 100 MCQ you need to solve on a daily basis without fail. So that is very important because so much theory many students do, but they do not practice MCQ. So they will falter at the end because finally the exam is MCQ. You have to solve the MCQ. Now the third and the most important pillar which everyone forgets, and that is the grand test, net practice. So you are going into a big match. Before going into a big match, if you do not have a practice, then most likely you will falter in the match. So it is important to give the grand test. Do not shy away from giving grand test thinking that marks nahi aayenge, डीमोटिवेशन हो जाएगा, ठीक है। सो आई कीप ऑन सेइंग दैट द मोर क्वेश्चंस यू मेक रॉन्ग इन द ग्रैंड टेस्ट, द लेसर you will make wrong in the actual exam, because you will see what are your mistakes and then you will improve on them. So these are the three pillars you need to use in balanced amount, all three. So theory, MCQs, and question practice at grand test. Yeah? So this with this now we can take the question.
Right. Thank you, sir. Very well said. And if I may add to what Gobind sir said, the fourth pillar can be the structure. All of us interviewed so many students, and all of majority of the students said that the structure of mission classes is what they followed. Right. Please remember, some students keep on getting these questions in the mind that is it enough? Am I following the right schedule? Or would I be able to do enough revisions? A structure has been created by people like Dr. Vivek and Dr. Gobind sir, who have been teaching for 20 years. Then we have people like Dr. Spurs, who has been teaching for 15 years, and people like me and Ankur sir, who have been doing the same thing for 10, 12 years. There's a combined experience of hundreds of years, as Vivek sir keep on pointing out. So you should be trusting what is being given to you. And now it's no longer only a point of trust. All of you have friends who are a part of mission program and you have seen their success story. So if something is working for everybody, it is going to work for you as well. So, please shun all these small doubts that you have, which lead to wastage of time. All right. Let me start with the first question. And I want to take a good question initially, sir.
सर
So,
मैं
sir,
शुरुआत
let's start with this one. Yeah, Vivek, sir, you were saying something?
सर मैं शुरुआत कर देता हूँ।
Please.
चैट बॉक्स में ना काफी स्टूडेंट्स आर राइटिंग कि मेरा स्कोर 140 आया है, 148 आया है, 149 आया है। तो स्टूडेंट्स, थोड़ा सा शायद मैं बुरा लगूंगा बोलते हुए, थोड़ा ब्लंट भी लगूंगा, लेकिन आप ध्यान से सुनो। गोविंद सर ने बोला कि मिशन प्रोग्राम कंप्लीट प्रोग्राम है, इतना अच्छा रिजल्ट।
Vivek, sir, sorry. Can you speak in English, sir, please?
Okay, yes, sir. Sir, many students are writing that they are having a score of 140, 148, 149 in the recent exam. I may appear a bit blunt, but I want you to clear the exam, so I'll be very truthful. Govind sir mentioned mission program is a complete program. Cerebellum got a fantastic result in the recent FMGE. In fact, we have surpassed everyone in the industry, whether it is offline, online. And also, Apur sir mentioned a lot of students scored 200 to 250 and 250 plus. So definitely, let's be very honest, exam was not difficult. If students were able to score 250, exam was easy. So when you say I have got 140, 149, I will ask you to reset yourself and tell yourself you have not missed by 1 or 10. We had a mission of 200 plus. So you have actually missed by around 40 to 50 marks minimum. So please keep that in mind. As Praveen sir has mentioned, the program is structured. We are giving you 3 months of classes. Religiously attend those classes as Dr. Govind sir has mentioned. Give all the grand tests. Govind sir has mentioned it is one of the important pillars. All the students who have cleared the exam have mentioned that they did not miss even a single session of late night PYQ. See, you have to attend, and don't forget the marathon session. See, when you appeared for the exam, we were equally anxious as you were. So you have to realize it's not just your test, it's our test also. So most of the responses we got in the forms, that why we did not clear, many students are saying that I got distracted, I went to some other source. Please don't do that. Stick to Cerebellum Mission 200 plus. We will make sure that you cross 200 in the forthcoming exam. Right? So just have faith, but we need 100% from you. You must have seen how much effort each and every teacher and staff put into this Mission 200 plus. So we want same honesty and 100% commitment from you. Praveen sir.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Sir, one of the questions is, I would like Spurser to take up this question. A student is saying that he made a mistake of not attending the live lectures and tried watching the videos. So, Spurser, this is a very clear-cut question to you, and I want a clear answer, sir. We have to be very clear with our students now. Between recorded lectures and live classes, for a student who is going to appear for the June examination, what should be preferred and the reasons behind it, sir?
Thank you so much for that opportunity, sir. I will be really trying to be as much honest and brutally honest, I would say rather. You see, sir, the recorded lectures are a wonderful source so far as the information is concerned. But keeping a hand on your heart, I mean, most of the students would agree to the fact that no matter how sincere you are, there are a lot of things which would make you distracted and you will go off target, right? So to avoid this kind of a tangential movement of yours, we came up with the concept of the live sessions, which is a unique USP feature of Cerebellum, right? Now, why do I say it is a unique feature and why do I say it is going to be of immense use to you is because when you are, let us say, attending a session with 1,000 people attending the same session at the same time with the faculty teaching live to you definitely get a feeling that, you are not the only one who is logging for this particular target. Second is, of course, we all have our own limitations at times, and we do have a tendency to, take a break or something of that sort. But when you find that, your faculty is also taking a class and maybe putting at least an equal, if not more effort as you are putting by, writing down the facts that which are being told to you on screen, then you feel, subconsciously motivated. Because as most of you understand, you are, graduating from foreign universities where a lot of times people are able to clear the exams with a slightly lesser effort in the sense that, the exams are conducted in a manner, it is a manner of, asking the information in the exam wherein short tests are being taken which are helpful for us for clearing the exams. But you also need to have this kind of a sitting capacity of yours wherein you can withstand the mental pressure and the physical challenge of, putting up that is being there in the exam for so many hours that you have to be there with utmost concentration and your eyes and your brain and your, all the senses focused on the screen. So वो एक या दो दिन में तो नहीं आएगा. It cannot be developed overnight. So you need to have a practice which has to be following a period of like several weeks or so. So once you attend something like a mission class, and this was, we were fortunate to interview some of our very good students who got a score of 220, 230. And I had this opportunity of having this interview with Vivek sir as well. So students actually told us ki, when there is a live session which is going to start at 5:30, and most of the times on an average, the sessions will continue till 11 or 11:30, at least for those 6 hours, maybe two breaks at max. So what you are telling yourself is that you have a potential of sitting across a class with utmost attention, writing down all the points. And sometimes what is going to be happening is like a teacher is going to be telling you certain facts. In a couple of lines, he may just say ki beta isko yaad kar lena. Remember this. This can be tweaked in this way. So let us say Apur sir is talking about some kind of a bone tumor and he would say that, this is a classical case of a patient who's having a osteomyelitis mimicking condition and this is the tumor that you have to remember. Or somebody like Dr. Zainab tells you, this is the appearance that you get in a particular X-ray, but similar appearance on the CT scan is suggestive of some other condition. Praveen sir may tell you, if you change the clinical scenario, the answer is going to change. These are very subtle things. They appear to be easy when somebody else is telling you. But when the same question or the fact is framed in the form of question in the exam, then people may not be able to remember. Another important thing, therefore, that we have to tell ourselves is that we have to attend the live sessions as much as possible because nothing beats live. That is for sure. The second thing that you must analyze for yourself, especially the ones who, for some reason missed out the bus this time, was the fact that have a self-introspection. And when I say self-introspection, please do an honest one on that. I do come across a lot of students who, for some reason, don't the peers or maybe for some other reasons. There are people who are leaving the subjects absolutely untouched. If I don't like anatomy, I cannot have the audacity of leaving anatomy untouched here. I mean, this is just too much. This is harakiri, I would say. So when you're attending the sessions, it is obviously easy that something would be retained by your brain. And when you're attempting the late night PYQs, when you're appearing in the grand test, when you're doing the ENDs, at least some fraction, 20%, 30%, 40%, those things are going to be retained by you. You cannot have a pick and choose policy wherein you like 10 subjects out of 19 or 5 subjects out of 19 or 12 subjects out of 19 and expect to clear an exam, which is with every subjective exam, which is successive exam, which is becoming more clinically oriented. So it is not a direct question from a single subject. He can, write a couple of lines from biochemistry, couple of lines from, let's say, pathophysiology, one line from pharmacology. And that's how they would frame a medicine question for you these days. So it's equally important for you to attend as many subjects as possible and utilize this opportunity that since a lot of your peers have been able to do it, a lot of your seniors have been able to do it, you find so many happy, successful, smiling faces, when the results come out. So imagine yourself, and that is another important thing that you have to imagine that you are also able to do and achieve that kind of a thing because ultimately, even if I say biologically, the cranial capacity is almost similar. The range is 1400 to 1600 grams. So, it is all about utilization. So the people that you see on the screen, with an exception, of the guy that talking about, they are utilizing their gray matter in a far more effective manner. So you have to learn the tricks of the trade and utilize the live sessions as much as possible.
Thank you, Spencer. Well said. And if I may just take a leaf out of Spencer's book, if you got a score between say 120 to 150, ask yourself these 5 questions. Question number 1, did I complete all the 19 subjects? Question number 2, did I revise all these 19 subjects at least 1 to 2 times? Question number 3, did I do at least 30 to 50 MCQs daily? Question number 4, did I appear for GTs at least once a month? And question number 5, was I able to revise the entire course in the last 15 days? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then that is your mistake. That is what you have to improve. Students keep on saying, I don't know what to do. Please ask these 5 questions and you'll have your answer in front of you. Please understand that Mission 200 program has been designed in a way so that you get a yes in front of all of these, because that is what works. I want to take this question to Goga sir. GRG sir, this is a question from a student who says, sir, I prefer making notes by myself, but the problem that I faced this time was that it took too much of time and I was not able to focus on the live lecture. What should I do in the current batch?
Sir, unmute yourself, please. Goga, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, for the question. This is a question which is being asked to me by many students. Making your own notes actually is a very good thing, but it requires time. So obviously it requires a lot of time. And if you are appearing for the coming exam, then this is not the way to go, because making the notes obviously will consume time. And if you have to complete all 19 subjects in 4 or 5 months with 2 or 3 revisions, then it will not be practically possible. So I will advise that if you are appearing for the exam in December or maybe later, then make your own notes. That will be excellent thing, best thing to do. But if you have exam in 6 months, then do not try to make your own notes. Then try to read from the pre-printed notes.
So our advice is very clear. If you're appearing for the June 2025 or even December 2025 exam, please do not try to make your own notes unless you are very good at it. Better would be use the quick revision notes that are pre-printed and that are provided by the Cerebellum Academy. I would also like to welcome Dr. Dilip and Dr. Madinani Srinivas, who have joined as panelists. I want to take this question to Dr. Ankur Jain, sir, who is, apart from being a biochemist, is also a psychiatrist. Dr. Ankur, student is saying that, sir, I cannot focus on studies. I keep thinking about the past mistakes that I made because of which I failed the exam. How to get out of it?
You are the better person to tell about this, but you referred to me. Thank you for that. Actually, many times these thoughts will come in your mind because always we live in guilt. We are not living in present. Okay, and the past is accumulating as a guilt, and whenever guilt is there, your mind is preoccupied. Now, how you will remove these thoughts? First thing, praise yourself for what you have done till now. Suppose you say, I have secured 140. So praise your mind that yes, you have really worked hard so that you could achieve till 140, rather than for saying negative that you could not achieve for last 10 marks. So whatever hard work you have done, that was reflected with your numbers. The only difference may be the presence of mind at the time of exam. It is a matter of only 3 hours, or you can say the one day. So at that day you would not be sometimes we are not able to focus correctly. That's why nature gives us another chance. So one reason, many times I have seen that this is not due to the means lack of preparation. This is lack of confidence, lack of anxiety, due to which you could not perform well in this exam. So when you will remove this guilt that I could not prepare well, then you will be able to perform better in next exam. So
Well said, Ankur sir. If I may add, students, see, a rule of thumb that Ankur sir would probably agree with me is, whenever we have a thought in our mind, whenever we have a question in our mind, we have to ask a simple thing to ourselves. Is this something that I can change today? Is this something that is in my control or not? And we have to give mental space to only those things that are in our control. 3 months back, you did not study properly. Can you change it? No. What can you do? Make things or do things differently today. So please ensure that whatever mental space you have, whatever energy you have, you're focusing on things which are in your control and not live in the past. As Ankur sir very well said, that we have to live in the present. And also, what is the point of thinking about the mistakes that you made in the past if you're making a mistake as of now? 1 week from today, you will start thinking that last week I should have studied. Today will become past in a couple of days. So ensure that what you're doing today is the right thing to do so that you don't regret about it 1 week from today or 2 weeks from today. All right. I'll take this question to Vivek sir, please. Vivek sir, there's a question that, sir, I watch video lectures, but I spend a lot of time in watching those so that I end up spending 2 hours in even 1 hour video lecture. How to ensure that I complete the lectures in time and how to ensure that I can sit for longer hours?
Sir, best is, see, if I look at myself as a student, if you ask me that I make my own schedule and try to follow it, I won't be able to do it religiously. Mission program has been designed in such a way, 5:30, whenever we are starting, you sit with the faculty, you study side by side, and actually it is a comprehensive revision also side by side where we are telling you the questions and everything. So you sit with us, as Dr. Spursar mentioned, the class invariably goes till 10:30, 11, or maybe 11:30. Then you are sitting for 5 to 6 hours daily with the teacher. And we are going through the topics one by one in extensive detail along with the questions. I think that should put you on track. That should put you on track. In case, like one of the students was mentioning in the chat box, in case you are unable to attend that live lecture, then I will definitely suggest they are in the app, go through the recorded video segment, and that particular live mission class recorded one, please go through it and don't try to take too much of time. I would suggest at few places, even with teacher like me who speaks very slowly, you can even watch it at a slightly higher speed also.
Well said, sir. So students, the whole idea of live lectures is this only, that a large number of students were not able to follow the video lectures properly. So I think live lectures solve this issue for you. Attend Mission Live classes in case you are living in a different time zone. I interviewed students from China. For them, the classes would start at 7:30. So that's a perfect time. But say you're living in some other part of the world where you cannot do the classes live, then you can of course go for the recorded lectures. One question, sir, if you guys allow me, I would like to take this. A student is asking that, can I do the qbank only and appear for the exam? See, the whole idea of qbank, please understand how did it emerge? 10 years from today, when we did not have all these resources, students used to do preparation retrospectively. The questions that had come in the exam, they would just look at those questions and the explanation. That was called as retrospective study method. Later on, that was improved and we created all these qbanks, the modules. Again, because there was you had to cover a lot in a short period of time. But I would say there's another leap of faith or another step in improvement when we got the live classes. The good thing about live classes is the teacher has to complete the course, and not only complete the course, revise the course at least twice in the given span of time. So live classes become much, much more efficient than your even qbanks. So qbank as an adjunct to preparation, good. qbank alone, I would not recommend it. If you are a Cerebellum student, use live classes. They are the gold mine for you for information as well as for the structure. So mission classes more than video lectures, more than qbank alone. Govind sir, you want to add?
Sir, as of now, I would just, kind of categorize the students into, two groups. There are certain students who are likely to be appearing in the exam in January 26 and maybe later as well. They have also joined the chat maybe to seek your guidance. And then there is a second set of students who are likely to be appearing in the exam in this very June, July, and appearing for the first time. And there is a third set of students who could not make it and missed by a whisker. So they had a score of something like 140. So I think few points regarding each of them. I think for the people who are going to be appearing the exam subsequently, guys, you have a lot of time, so you better watch the videos as diligently as possible. Try to do the PYQs, try to have as much utilization of the app as possible. I think that would be good enough for you. And for the rest of the people, I think this is going to be a specific discussion. So, Govind sir, now, you can just guide us.
So many students have asked the question in different format. Dr. Vin, they are asking that is it necessary to solve whole of the qbank? Yeah. So
Okay.
I would like to answer that question also. So one thing Dr. Praveen has already told, and I also told in my discussion, that there are three pillars of getting the success in the exam. That is theory, MCQs, and grand test. So only doing MCQ, you are doing 33% only. So you are leaving the 67%. Clear? So do not do that mistake. That only do one thing out of the three.
Right.
Second thing, is it necessary to solve whole of the question bank? practically it is not possible. If you are giving the exam in 5 or 6 months, it is not possible to practice each and every question and then revise also the wrong questions. So our advice is that you can make the custom modules from whichever topics you are studying that day. Make the custom module, solve 50 to 100 questions depending upon the time you have, and that way you can cover most of the important questions in them.
Students, please remember that this is the beginning of the preparation. You are overestimating the time. We see it in every single batch. Later on, you will realize that there is not enough time left for revision. Uh, as far as the qbank is concerned, if you have a lot of time, of course, you can do the custom module. But if you do not have enough time, focus mostly on the late night PYQ marathons. These late night PYQ marathons, basically for those of you who do not know what it is, late night PYQ marathons consist of 30 to 50 questions or 25 to 50 questions related to the subject that is being taught in the live class. And they are taken not only from the FMG exam, but also the NEET PG exam. And they tell you where you stand as far as information is concerned and what should you be focusing on. Midday module, we are not adding in mission 200 plus for the simple reason you would not get enough time to solve the midday module. In case you want to do midday module, you are free to do so. Just change the app to NEET PG segment. You will get access to midday module. We are not stopping you from doing midday module. You can do that, but we don't advise it. You have to do 5 to 6 hours of lectures. You have to do late night PYQ marathon. You have to revise it in the daytime. You have to prepare EAs. After this, not enough time is left. So don't try to do everything. Try to do things that work. I want to take this question to Dr. Dilip sir. Dilip sir, you are a teacher of medicine and students love you as much for teaching as for your hairstyle. But sir, this is an important question that a subject like medicine, which is like vast, never ending, and students have gotten like 5 months for the preparation. How to cover a subject as big as medicine in these 5 months? And the second part of this question is, some students make this mistake. They think that if they do patho, pharma, physio, medicine gets covered. What is your take on that? The two questions for you, please.
Yes, sir. You nailed it. I mean, both the questions have been frequently asked by students. That's the reason why this year we have introduced like two kind of courses. Like if you see in the QR also, we have a separate medicine a day program, which is actually tailor-made for students who are preparing for FMG. So they need not actually watch the QR 2.0, so which is a kind of bit extensive. That's for the NEET PG and the INI students. They can very well watch the medicine a day, which is just around 20 hours, maybe if I'm not wrong. So that actually covers almost 80 to 90% plus of the medicine questions, whatever being asked. And if they want to learn a little bit extra, and if they want to score near 100%, then they can attend the mission classes also. The mission classes will be almost following the same pattern as that of the medicine a day, same program. So it will go hand in hand. So not panic much about it. The course is going to be just 8 days. So if they just sit with me for 8 days, I'm going to give the right perspective of how to solve medicine questions. So if they cover pathology, physiology, pharmacology, and microbiology, yes, they can solve certain medicine questions, but their accuracy is not going to go beyond 50 or 60%, not more than that. Maybe if I'm not wrong, maybe some students keep commenting that, sir, I've already did physio, patho, pharma, and microbiology, but I'm not able to score more than 30, 40%. So my score just gets at 30, 40%. I'm not able to solve the medicine questions. I mean, people have to understand that medicine is something different. It's more logical and it's more analytic. So yes, the basic sciences would help, but I won't say it's going to completely help them solve all the questions. And if they attend those 8 days of class, this is what many students told in the interviews as well. If they solve, I mean, they sit with me for 8 days or 7 days in the mission classes, and that's it. They're going to easily get 50, 60 questions in the exam. Easily. I mean, that's the bare minimum that they can get, which is a huge boost to their preparation. And to avoid fear, I would like to say that they have to sit with me. So maybe they have to bear for a couple of days. So initial first 2 days may be a little bit like they will feel like I'm talking something else, because most of the kids are not someone who completed internship right now. So the clinical subjects may seem a little overwhelming, but just 1 or 2 days and they will be good to go.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and say that if today you are preparing for any medical entrance preparation in India, there can be nothing better than Dr. Dilip sir's mission lectures. Please understand that it takes a huge amount of commitment from the side of the teacher to speak continuously for 9, 10 days or 8 to 10 days. But the way Dilip sir does it is a commendable thing. And sit with him for 8 days. It wouldn't be easy because he takes lectures till late in the night. But if you give those 8 days, not only for FMG examination, you would be pretty good placed even for the NEET PG or INICT or USML examination, whatever you plan to take next. So there is no doubts about this. Medicine means Dr. Dilip, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Srinivas, sir, this is a question. Some of the students say that for shorter subjects, do we have to do the mission classes, or can we just quickly do it by some kind of revision videos, quick revision videos, or BTR? So should they focus on the mission classes for short subjects or not, sir? Sir, you are not audible. I think you're on mute.
Okay, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for the question, sir. So I want to say, dear students, so please get out of this feeling that it is going to be enough that you are going to do some MCQs or you are going to watch some small random rapid revision. That will not be sufficient. So it is already discussed in detail that you are getting a proper schedule which you can follow. So just go with the flow and finish off the short subjects also, and don't underestimate the short subjects because they are very high yielding. So that is, I can say 100% strike rate can be achieved with the short subjects. So these are very high yielding. I want to reiterate that point again to all of you. And you can score, so like for example in dermatology, I can say 10 questions were there in this exam, and most of the students have scored very easily 10 out of 10. So I'm just giving the example of my subject. So watch live, finish off. It is going to be given only so less amount of time when compared to the lengthy subjects, no doubt. So in that small amount of time, you can cover the entire subject with the faculty. You can revise it the next day, and also you can do the qbank and also pyqs. That will be finished. It is completed. So instead of this, don't go behind any rapid revision videos, and don't go off schedule, which is going to again lead to the problem that you may again tend to leave any other further subjects in the future. Okay. So this
Yeah,
is
so
what I
let me
felt, sir.
add, Dr. Srinivas, short videos, as Dr. Srinivas very rightly said, they're very high scoring. I mean, put together 5 short subjects of final year and maybe add forensic to it, you easily get 60 questions. So as of today, we are 5 months away from the examination. It's better to do the mission classes. Maybe if a student is 2 months away from the examination or 1 month away from the exam, does not have time, then our quick revision videos, BTR, all of them become very handy. But at this point of time, when you're 5 months away from the examination, mission classes is what you should be following. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Going back to Vivek sir. Vivek sir, this is the question. Again, I think this is a question for students who are going to appear for the exam for the first time. Sir, I attended mission lectures. What extra should I do for the upcoming exam? And I'm going to appear for the exam for the first time.
Sir, those who have either watched the main videos earlier or those who have attended the mission sessions earlier and now are going to appear for the first time in June 2025, I will suggest attend all the live mission sessions again. Consider when you are sitting with Govind sir, Sparsh sir, or in my class or Praveen sir's class, any class, consider now this is a comprehensive revision for you. Sit with your notes, try to make a note of things which you had missed the earlier time, or maybe you don't know the answer to something, or there is something new which has been added up. So try to complete your notes now. In case something is missing, do try to make a list. If I am in your place, I will make a list of my 10 strong subjects and 9 weaker subjects. I'll first look at my 9 weaker subjects. Now let me give some extra effort to those 9 subjects in these mission classes. So of course I'm going to attend all the 19 subjects, but if I get a time in between, why not I should go back to maybe the rapid revision videos of those 9 subjects. If I can complete PSM in 8 hours again, I would definitely like to go for that. Practice more questions for those 9 subjects. Try to convert your weakness into strength. See, we always keep on working on our strength, but what I will suggest is my weaker 9 or 10 subjects, let me try to target and convert them into my strength. And as you must have watched the videos of the students who have scored good score this time, many of them were first attempters. So take a cue motivation from them, follow the structured schedule of the mission program, follow it religiously. That is the only thing. Don't miss a single session. Don't miss a single revision session also. Praveen sir.
Well said. Govind sir, this question is for you. Sir, I attended I saw videos from some other platform last time, but I was not able to revise the whole thing, and I got a score of 130. Uh, can I take mission classes now, and how will we do the revision in mission classes?
So this is a general question. You have done preparation from any platform. So, and if you are not able to clear, so the basic thing is you must be lacking any of the five things that Dr. Praveen has asked in the beginning. So whether you have completed all the 19 subjects or not, whether you have given grand tests or not, whether you have practiced MCQs or not, whether you have done the PYQs or not. So all these things will be handled in the mission program. So we will advise strongly that you go with the mission 200 plus program, follow it religiously, and in that you will get each of the points where you can which can have a limiting factor in getting you success. So keep on doing the mission sessions seriously, revise them, and then solve the MCQs, so that will solve the problem for you.
As far as revision is concerned, dear student, mission is done in 3 labs. Lab 1 is the bigger one. Then we have a lab 2 and then lab 3. So the lab 2 and lab 3 are for revisions only. We understand your problem that students find it difficult to revise the whole thing in the end. That is why we have lab 2s and lab 3s, which are revisions only. Students, please remember that all the 7 faculties that you're seeing on the screen, they are so confident in talking about mission for the simple reason that we got such a great result. We know what we are doing. If you look at the same session last 6 months back, we were giving the same suggestions, but even we were not that confident. But today, after knowing that 80% of our students pass the examination, I mean, we are we are out there and saying that just do it, you will pass the examination. So please understand what is working will work again.
Dr. Praveen, I will like to add something more. So one student has also asked the question that I was preparing from some other platform, and how to combine those notes with Cerebellum notes. So basically, I will advise that if you can follow the mission program completely, it will be very good. So you can thoroughly do everything. But if you are confident with few subjects which you have done from your platform earlier, and you are very confident that you can finish that in stipulated time, like we are giving 4 days for pharma, 4 days for pathology. So if you are able to finish that from your own notes, then you can use that notes also, but listen to the lectures, live lectures you have to do, and along with that you can follow your own notes and you can add the things in that also.
I'm going to ask this question to Dr. Ankur. Ankur sir, somebody has said that sir struggling to memorize subjects like micro and biochemistry and forensic medicine. So what can I do about it? So sir, subjects which are high on facts like biochemistry, you teach it beautifully, but certain subjects which are high on facts, how should a student go about it, sir?
Definitely, sir. Few subjects are really tough to retain and they are volatile. And factual questions are being asked. But nowadays, the scenario is changing. Just like you will find this time question were asked, and most of the question were clinical based. So rather than mugging up steps of a particular pathway, you should remember the clinical significance of that particular step. When you will remember that significance, then the step will be remembered itself. So try to connect whatever pathway or whatever step is there to some clinical thing, some relevant thing, some question, as we discuss in our class. And few subjects, just like sir told, micro, forensic and biochemistry, in this you should give little bit extra revision. Okay, and the duration of means the time interval between revision may be decreased. So this is the only way, because the reason that why we are not remembering biochemistry, many times we don't read in first year. First, because we are more involved in anatomy and then physiology. I also did the same thing during my MBBS days. So biochemistry is usually read first time during our preparation thoroughly. This is the reason that you are unable to remember. That's why give one extra revision and connect it with clinical scenario or clinical relevance.
And also remember that facts everybody forgets, right? There is no person in the world who read the Krebs cycle and remembered or memorized it for the life. You are going to forget it. That is why we need so many revisions now. So if you are forgetting stuff, it means you are normal, you are human. Things you will forget. Revision is the key. That is why we keep on saying that revision is the key. All right. There are two important questions. Vivek sir, first question is, sir, what about the MCQs? if we do late night marathon MCQs and custom modules, would it be enough? Vivek sir, let me answer and then you can add me or correct me, please. Students, again, please remember that you have got 4.5 or 5 months and we need 3 revisions. That should stay in the front of your mind always. As far as MCQs are concerned, we do multiple things. We do late night PYQ marathons every day. Then we have ENDs. And we have 2 cycles of ENDs. There would be one END along with the lap 1, another END with the lap 2, which is all MCQ. And then we have lots of GTs, right? And then we will have another cycle of late night PYQs. If you follow even these things, you would be pretty well, placed as far as the MCQs are concerned. If you want to do more, you can go into the app, you can go into the section of test, subject test, and do older ENDs as well, if you have enough time left. If you're still not happy, you can do the custom modules as well, right? But this is what is going to suffice. Good evening, Dr. Zainab.
Hello, sir. Hello, everybody.
Ma'am, welcome to the
Sorry,
session.
I was late. Or is it over?
No, it's not over.
How
So,
it
ma'am,
went
we
over
are
without
talking to students who were not able to pass the exam this time, and we are trying to understand their questions and coming up with specific answers. Ma'am, now that you are here, there was a question: how to integrate BTR with the Mission 200 plus classes, live classes. So, ma'am, you can
Sir,
answer that.
yeah, I think the first time around, the very first lap would be the best time to do so. So, what I would recommend is first attend the mission class so that you know what is the subject most important aspects, and then if you see the BTR of that corresponding subject, then you will get a concise filtrate of more or less the same information. So one, it acts as a revision, plus you get one more perspective to it with a point of view of what has been asked already and a few tricks here and there on how to process the information. So it will be easy in the first round because now you have two things. Don't think of it as end में क्या देखेंगे. बेसिकली आप दोनों को साथ में चलो सो दैट वंस यू इंटीग्रेट इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम अराउंड, सेकेंड टाइम में आपके लिए इजी हो जाएगा टू अगेन लुक एट बोथ ऑफ द थिंग्स. बिकॉज आई एम सॉरी आई वोन अ ग्रीन जैकेट. सो बेसिकली यू विल वेयर I'm saying where you will do the BTR along with the mission class in the first lap, and then keep revising it simultaneously closer to the exam. Then you can add it in one place. It's completely your choice. You can either add mission extra information to BTR or vice versa. So you choose depending, I think, on the length of the subject. What I can recommend is for shorter subjects, you can make BTR as the base and you add on the extra information so that you have one place to revise. For larger subjects, you can do it vice versa. But just give BTR a look so that you know what are the most important things. So that's the recommendation, and do PYQs. So use BTR and PYQs as a roadmap कि ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड देन वाइल डूइंग द मिशन क्लासेस यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली नो कि जब सर ये पढ़ा रहे हैं, मैम ये पढ़ा रहे हैं, दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट जिस पे से बहुत क्वेश्चंस आए हैं. सो लेट मी लिसन टू दिस मोर केयरफुली, और इफ आई हैव एनी डाउट्स लेट मी सॉर्ट दैट आउट देन एंड देयर.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Sir, this is a question. Sir, please give a full day normal plan according to you. So if somebody is following Mission 200 plus, how should the day look like?
So, as we understand, sir, that the classes are going to be starting in the evening. So, I think for most of the people, the classes start well within time at 5:30 or so, and they would be wrapping up at around 11:30. I think that's the best time for you to quietly have your meals and just doze off. As and when you get up in the morning, of course, prior to dozing off, you have to practice your late night PYQs, right? So, as and when you get up, it is important for you to just have a look at what was taught to you the last day. It's equally important for you to practice the questions from the topics which had been covered for a particular subject. Try to find out the areas, intuitively when I read a particular thing or a fact, I just get to know, this is something from which a question can be framed. Or this is something that I've read somewhere. Subconsciously, I tend to remember that this is an important point which has to be done. So you can just mark your Qs or your stars or whatever way you wish to tag it. And then, just have a look at those videos. And it is important that also have a look at the information that you have read about, let's say 5 days back, or the subject that you finished prior to this particular subject, which is ongoing in the current session. Because see, what happens is that at a lot of times, what students face is, particularly this is a query which is seen in lab 2, that it's a kind of a revision. So people tend to remember facts when it is being taught by the teacher. But having said that, if you just close their copies and if the teacher is not saying something, it's difficult for them to, remember even 50% of that information or write it down by themselves. So the
Right.
notes are already there with the information for you to kind of handle it gently. But at the same time, what will matter is that how much of that information is retained by you at the time of the exam. And this has to be done in a more, I would say, an active manner rather than a passive manner. So let's say somebody like Praveen sir taught you about something like psychosis, the previous day. Just try to remember about the five most important things that come to your mind. Just look at the notes then, and with respect to the questions which have been asked, and you will be able to find out those 2 or 3 areas which you are missing out on, and that will help you for the revision purpose.
Right. Students, please remember, in the beginning of the preparation, everybody wants to do a lot. Later on, you realize that time is not infinite and you struggle in, putting everything together. So please remember that. And if I may add the summary of what Spurser said, in the evening hours, you have mission classes. In the night, you have late night PYQ marathon. In the morning hours, you have to revise it. I mean, doing this much is also not going to be easy. I mean, once you start doing it from 29th, you will realize it's not going to be easy. And then we have teachers like Dr. Dilip who would keep on teaching till 1 o'clock at night. So it's definitely not going to be easy.
नहीं the one another way going about it is that let's say गोविंद सर ने पढ़ा दिया, this is one thing that you have read, so अगले दिन आप रिवाइज कर ले हो, तो जब बीटीआर उसमें देखते हो, so बीटीआर में हो सकता है कि मैम ने कुछ और ट्रिक्स बता रखे हो, कुछ और पॉइंट्स बता रखे हो, so those points can be integrated at in the very
Yes.
first lab.
Put
I
it
think lab
together.
1 is the best time for the integration part between the two wonderful contents that you're going to be getting, so that you
Right.
make the best utilization of both the stuffs.
Dr. Zainab, I have another question for you regarding GTs. A lot of students say I'm always very anxious of taking GTs and always keep on procrastinating in the process. How should we go about GTs?
Sir, I think this is something that we talk when we talk to the students who have cleared the FMG exam. One thing was very clear that most of them had taken every GT which was planned for them, and that's very very important. We tend to procrastinate and think that एक बार सारे subjects लेते हैं, फिर देंगे, उसके बाद आते एक बार सारे सब्जेक्ट्स रिवाइज कर लेते हैं, फिर देंगे, फिर एक बार मैराथन कर लेते हैं, फिर देंगे, एंड देन द एक्चुअल एग्जाम कम्स, राइट? सो यू विल नेवर एवर बी फुल्ली प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर एनी टेस्ट, लेट अलोन अ जीटी. यू विल नेवर बी fully prepared for a subject wise END also. You have to draw a line, and that line has been drawn for you by the schedule, so you just stick to that schedule. में GT है तो देना है, question asked. That's what you have to now take it as, right? That it has been made by experts and it's now time tested. We've seen this over the last 2 years that it's working. So now you just have to keep your full blind faith and go with the schedule. And it is very very important that you give these GTs in a month, because you are learning how to solve questions which I have not read. That is the most important skill eventually. Ki maine nahi padha, how do I eliminate based on what I already know and reach the answer? You will never know everything even in the actual exam. It's all about students who can eliminate that. Okay, I know this can't be the answer. Okay, 3 are left, this seems unlikely. Out of the 2, which is a better answer? Do this over and over 300 times, and that's a skill which will come with time. When you give GTs, when you are in that exam mode, if you just give it on your phone casually कि चलो custom module की तरह दे देते हैं, तो actual exam is gonna feel very different. So you have to get into that mode, give your GTs on desktop and give them very diligently as they have been planned. Every GT you have to give. That's a promise you make at the beginning of the schedule and you stick to it.
Well said, ma'am. So, in fact, a lot of students told us that their final GT score was very close to the score they got in the actual
Yeah.
exam. So that was a very nice thing to hear. And as Goga sir keeps on saying, Goga sir, let me let me see आप बोलने वाले हो. that I love this line that Goga sir keeps on repeating, that the mistakes that you make in GTs, you are not going to make the same mistakes in the real exam. It's a very important thing. You are just scared that what will happen if I get a bad score. It's better to get a bad score in GTs than getting a bad score in the actual examination. And see,
I think sir को एक joke बोलना है, we
हाँ
are
sir,
just
yes
stopping
sir.
him from
No,
saying
no.
it.
I am not going to say joke, but a very relevant question. Praveen, one of the student,
तो फिर relevant ही होते हैं.
not one, few students have asked that
Yeah.
I had joined Cerebellum Academy mission program last time. I followed that also, but I was not able to pass. So what different I need to do so that I can pass this time? This is for you.
Sir, I would repeat what we said in the beginning of the session, that ask yourself 5 questions. Were you able to complete all the 19 subjects? Were you able to revise all the 19 subjects at least 1 to 2 times? Were you able to take multiple GTs? Did you solve your MCQs, your PYQs, your late night PYQ marathons? And finally, were you able to revise everything in the last 15 days? If you have an answer of no to any of these 5 questions, that is where you were lagging, and fix it. Right? It is impossible that you did everything and did not pass the exam. I would say it's very unlikely. You must be making some mistake. Let's find out what mistake is and let's rectify it. And about GT, I just want to make a last point that it's also a kind of exposure therapy. A lot of students say that they became too anxious. Ankur sir would add onto this. A lot of students say that I become too anxious on the day of the exam. You would become too anxious. That is why we have these GTs. They prepare you for the final exam. So not only the questions, but how to sit for those 4.5 hours, and how to maintain your composure, how to handle yourself when you see questions on the screen that you don't know answer for. So all these things you learn when you are taking these GTs. So GTs are very important. Even if you start with a score of 90 or 100, please take these GTs. Dr. Madineni, I have a question for you. How to avoid silly mistakes, sir?
So thank you for the question, sir. So silly mistakes, actually, like I in my classes always say that don't consider to get 150 marks. So consider every question as a 150th question. So with this mindset, if you are sitting and doing any question, you are going to read the question very, very carefully. And also you will see the options very carefully. So if you miss out any not, except, so these are the silly mistakes which many students tell. So if you want to miss this, have a mindset that you are seeing a question which is going to give you the 150th mark. Okay, with this mindset, if you are solving the MCQs, and also most importantly, like all the faculties told, give GTs. So that is a practice which you are going to get before the actual exam, and this practice is very, very important. I have seen, have interviewed so many students, and they are all going to agree with what I'm saying, that giving GTs is very important. And in those GTs, you are going to understand what silly mistakes you could probably make in the actual exam. And don't worry about, so I'm just repeating it, don't worry about initially you are getting low GT marks. So many toppers also got, like those who got 230, they were also getting 140 like that. But slowly, progressively, they have improved on their score. So remove this fear that you are going to get low score and you will get depressed. No, that is actually bad. So do the
That's very
GTs.
well said, sir. I love this line that every question you should feel as if you're attempting the 150th question. And it's a very good advice. I would say it's a very beautiful advice, for the simple
Yes.
reason that silly mistakes often happen because we are not giving enough concentration to that question. If you know that
Yes.
the stakes are pretty high, you would not miss all those things, all except all those things you would not miss. So,
Yes.
Sir, very well said. I'm going to copy this line, and later on, if somebody asks me about this, I'm going to repeat it.
I will
I
want
always
No,
tell
no.
this. I always tell this in my class, sir, that I start the class with saying that you should consider every question as 150th question. There is no silly mistake you'll have if you do this.
Well said, sir. Dilip, sir,
Thank you.
time management. How to manage time, sir?
Actually, that's a very personalized question that depends on how much they have prepared before, honestly speaking. So I'll be blunt on that. So people keep asking me about time management. So some people might be requiring, like, I mean, may be able to do like even 12 to 14 hours a day, they might be able to pull up. But some students may not be able to do like 8 to 10 hours. But that's the whole reason why we have the mission classes, I feel. So to give them that sort of time management, those people who are basically chronic procrastinators, who don't want to procrastinate anymore, and those people who want to stick on to something. So for that only we have the mission classes. So I feel like once they are into the mission classes, the time management issue will completely go off. So if they just listen to us, if they just follow the schedule what we are giving, if they are giving all the GTs, it's just done and dusted. So that's why, because Goga sir is there, I can keep telling this about cricket also, because I always feel my life is always indulged in a lot of cricket. So I always say that. So I mean, I can comment anything from here. So like how Virat Kohli played, how Rohit Sharma played, why he hasn't scored, why he has scored, and all those things. But the moment I enter into the like stadium, like like my head is going to fall all over, and I'm not going to score anything. So the difference between whether you're getting an outside edge or an inside edge, whether it's a well-timed shot, is just 1 inch. So it's just for that we are practicing for years together, isn't it? People do practice for 10, 15 years just to get that 1 inch right. So that's for the same reason why you need to keep practicing. So next 5 months is going to be the same sort of things to get that extra 1 or 2 questions right. So that you're going to get over the mark.
There's a very conceptual question here that, sir, I'm 28 years old and I don't attend medicine lectures because I get jealous of Dilip sir's hair. How to grow hair like Dr. Dilip? I just made that up. All right.
That was my doubt. Which student is asking?
Sir, I'll take care of that as well. We are very shortly going to be coming up with a cerebellum hair oil therapy, customized therapy for you once you clear the exams. The coupons shall be available only at Cerebellum event. So stay tuned for more information.
All right. I think we have covered most of the questions.
Praveen, I will add one question. One student
sir.
asked that this time I cleared the exam with 164 marks, and I have 1 marks less for appearing in INSCT exam. So can I appear again for the exam to improve? I'm sorry, guys. The answer is no.
Is it allowed to appear for FMG exam again, sir? No, it's not.
So you cannot improve अमन. तो नीट में फोड़ दो यार, नीट में फर्स्ट रैंक ले आओ, खत्म करो काम.
हाँ, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. So I think we have covered most of the questions. Anything else, respected faculty, that you want to cover? All right. So I think Vivek sir has come back at a very good point of time. Vivek sir, anything else that is left?
I think, sir, everyone has covered each and every point beautifully. Only thing is some students are saying that I followed everything religiously. Still some marks I could not cover up. So don't worry, friends. The team is in front of you. You are in front of us. Let's stick together for next 5.5 months. And June end, most likely exam is going to be there, or if not, maybe in July, but let's consider June end. So 3 months of classes, then 2 months of revisions. This is more than sufficient to clear the exam.
So students, we are going to start with Mission 200 plus 4th batch. I mean, it's a sentimental moment for us, emotional moment for us, because we started the journey of mission classes with Mission 200 plus only. And now we'll be starting with the 4th batch. And it's a beautifully made program. Everything that you need is there. Live classes, MCQ practice, PYQ practice, revisions, BTR, everything. GT is a part of it. You can trust on the program blindly. Just follow everything that is being done in the program, and you will definitely cross a score of 200. Final suggestions, final comments. I'll start with Gobind sir. Gobind sir, your final suggestions to the students, sir.
My final suggestion will be whenever you have low mood, whenever you are not like to study, जब भी लगे कि मन ही नहीं कर रहा पढ़ने का, just remember that relative जिसको मिठाई का डब्बा देना है, ठीक? So that will be the biggest motivation you will have.
Right. जिस रिलेटिव ने इस बार मजाक उड़ाया है, उसी को अच्छी वाली मिठाई खिलानी है. That is the biggest motivation. Going to Vivek sir. Vivek sir, please.
Yes, do whatever. 5:30 p.m. you have to sit with us on a daily basis. You will clear the exam. Nothing else is required.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Spur, sir.
So I would just say stick around, stay around, and we will do this together.
Great. Zainab ma'am.
On the similar lines, I think right now after this session is over, write on a piece of paper that I have to show up daily and stick it in front of the wall where you're going to study, right? So that pushes you that daily I have to attend a class, I have to show up, and no matter what it takes, 2 बजे क्लास खत्म हो रही है रात को, I have to stick around till then. So there is no slacking around. All the break that you want to take it today and tomorrow, and that's it. So after that, you have to be very consistent. There will be break days in between, but you have to show up on a daily basis.
Well said, ma'am. Dilip sir.
So I would like to say, because some students are worried about medicine because they always think like it's a big subject. All I wanted them is to just sit with me for 12 days, nothing more than that. 9 days for the main first revision and the END. And the second one is for the lab 2 and 1 day for the lab 3. That's it. Your 60 questions are done. That I can promise because I'm ready to give you 200% effort.
Thank you. Ankur sir.
Sir, I want to say that trust on your hard work, trust on God. Yes, God has big plan for you. And the last, trust on Cerebellum and its schedule.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Dr. Srinivas, sir.
I would say students, avoid FOMO, trust yourself and trust Cerebellum. You are going to make it great.
We're going to make it happen. And we have Pooja ma'am also. Pooja ma'am, sorry, you are joining at the fag end of the session, but your last suggestion for the students, or the first suggestion for the students.
So the thing is, I will say that convert your worry time into study time. Whatever time you have right now, that you have, right? What is gone, what that's gone. And whatever physiology, 17 marks are there. Usually 17 questions are asked. That is my responsibility. You have to sit with me, right? Whatever time we are going to give to the physiology, that's all you need to give. Those all the notes I'm going to give you, those are the notes you're going to study. And I'm guaranteeing you that 15 to 17 question, whatever is going to come, you will be able to solve. Just convert your worry time into study time. And somebody was asking me that how to integrate the physiology with medicine. That we will do it in the classes. We do have ENTs, we do have GTs, right? We ask the questions according to the exams only, right? And I'm there for the physiology, clinical physiology, and sir will take off. The Dilip sir is there to take your medicine, and that's all from my side, sir.
So students, 29th is the day, and the date will start with mission 200 plus with one and only Goga sir. And just follow the program and see you on the other side. All the best.
Sir, if I may add, another motivation can be to see all the people in physical form at the Cerebellum event as and when you crack the exam. So we are very eager to meet each one of you individually, one to one. So let's just make a promise and let that manifest so strongly that by the time the results are being declared after the June 25 exam, we get to see each other really soon.
All the best, guys.
All the best.
All the best.
All the best.
All the best, guys.
पढ़ते रहना.
All the best.